The rains have done their work. In mid-January, Shaba is at its most splendid. There is abundant vegetation, water all around, and the savannah teems with hundreds of animals taking advantage of the bonanza. The elephants have returned to the region and remain here longer. Different interrelated matriarchal groups come together by the Waso Nogiro to enjoy the end of abstinence. Elephants need between 80 and 160 liters of water a day, and the adult males can drink twice this amount, so they must always have water sources available. The banks of the Waso Nogiro, whose waters are now high and stable, every day attract large herds of pachyderms. The adults can drink and bathe, and the young can wallow in the mud, protected by a forest of colossal legs. These clans spend the dry season communicating with each other at great distances, but physically separated in order to more efficiently explore and utilize the land devastated by the drought. But now Shaba is witness to their reunion and can enjoy the spectacle, once frequent in East Africa, of herds of over 200 individuals. Today, the region that comprises the reserves of Shaba, Samburu and Buffalo Springs is home to the largest herds of elephants in East Africa. And again, there is a paradox, this miracle of abundance in the kingdom of drought. The riverbank is the meeting place for the majority of the species of Shaba. During the course of the day, many of the animals of the savannah come here to drink, and that is a risky moment, when they inevitably expose themselves to danger. With the heat of the sun, the large Nile crocodiles have returned to the water. On one of the banks, a group of Greve zebras are slaking their thirst, and the appearance of a young colt attracts the great saurians. The crocodiles are silent in the current of the Waso, and when they submerge, they become invisible. But the zebras are on permanent alert, and the shallowness of the river is a factor in their favor. A surprise attack is the crocodile's only chance of claiming a victim from the land along the Waso Nogiro. The baboons, too, who have remained in this region all year, thrive in the shade of the forest along the riverbanks. The dominant males never lower their guard. The hunters also know that sooner or later their prey will come to drink, and in the strip of forest there are frequent ambushes. The risk is worth it. Few carnivores would dare to challenge a family of baboons, and the candelabra palms that grow along the banks of the Waso are now heavy with fruit. So while the large males stand watch, the young climb up into the treetops and throw down the ripe fruit to the rest of the group. Another of the advantages of family life. Among the shadows of this same forest, just a short distance from the baboons, two Kirk's dik-diks nervously keep watch as they eat. Standing just 2 hands high and weighing around 5 kilos, they're the smallest antelopes in Shaba, and even the large baboons could easily kill them, so they nervously graze, never wandering far from the protective undergrowth. The nervousness of the dik-diks is fully justified, because the forest in which they live is the habitat of the most beautiful and elusive hunter in Shaba. The leopards spend most of the day hiding in the boughs of the acacia, where their mottled skin makes them invisible. But when the sun goes down, when the shadows creep over the savanna, they come down from the branches to begin their hunting rounds. The time of the hunters has arrived. The animals retire to their nighttime hideaways. Life on the savanna offers no truces, and the night of Shaba fills with living shadows, prowling around in the eternal game of life and death. By the river, beneath the fallen trunk of an acacia, the leopard scans the night in search of prey. Its hearing and sense of smell receive the information of everything alive and moving about under the cover of night. Another leopard emerges from the shadows and the couple continues its silent round. From the river come messages of potential prey, but the water and the crocodiles place them beyond their reach. Then the male detects a furtive movement in a tree alongside the Owasso Negiro, and the hunt begins. The female waits at a certain distance. Only if the prey is large will she come to the aid of her companion. Silent as a ghost, the leopard approaches the base of the tree in which the prey hides. Its senses are alert, waiting for fresh signs. And then a new sound is heard. The leopard knows there is something alive in the tree, and that there is no escape for it. Beneath the branches runs a river full of dangers, and to reach the ground the prey has to reveal itself. It is now just a question of time. And beneath the attentive gaze of his companion, the hunter gets ready to attack. A last movement reveals a monitor lizard, provoking the reaction from the leopard. For the terrified lizard, this will be his last night on Earth. Beneath the tree, the female waits disappointed. The prey is small and the male would keep it all for himself. In the harsh world of Shaba, there is no place for any other attitude but ensuring one's own survival. And if it had been the female that had caught the monitor lizard, she would not have allowed the male to come near. Having devoured his catch, the male comes down from the tree to join his mate. And again, two shadows melt into the night, combining beauty and death beneath the starry sky of Shaba. Shaba is a fascinating land beyond the influence of man, a world in which life is a series of stark contrasts, where hardship gives rise to beauty and survival imposes constant tests. And it is precisely the harshness of its conditions that makes this land a world apart, an exclusive paradise for its survivors. With the return of the dry season, Shaba goes back to the beginning. Little by little, drought sets in. And again God and the devil alternate until they become one and the same, with no beginning or end, in the perpetual cycle of life.